Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amelia and I'm currently reading the 5th season by N.K. Jemisin. Today I wanted to talk about getting back into reading as an adult. I'm sure a lot of us have like a similar experience where as a kid you would read like crazy, you'd read a lot, a book in a day maybe, read under your desk at school, stay up way too late, and then at some point you woke up and you realize you don't know the last time you read a book. Maybe you got busy with like school and life, work, whatever, but now you want to get back into reading and you don't know where to start. So today I'm going to go over a few tips that will hopefully help you out. My first tip is to use your local library. I know it's really fun to like run down to the bookstore and get yourself a brand new book and bring it home, put it on your bookshelf. Everybody loves that feeling, or at least I do. But when you're just getting back into reading, and if you haven't read since you were a kid, you probably have a lot different tastes now than you did then. Like, you are not the same person you were when you were a kid. You've grown, developed. So there's a good chance that the genres or types of stories that appeal to you as a kid are going to be different now. So using your library means you can experiment with a wide range of genres, types of stories, types of characters, without the money commitment, which can make it a lot easier to get back into reading because you're not limited by how much you can spend. My next tip is don't be afraid to DNF a book. This just means do not finish. So this kind of fits into like a similar thing I was saying before, like your tastes have probably changed a lot since you were a kid. So if you really liked fantasy books as a kid and you pick up a fantasy book as an adult and you find you're not really vibing with it, you don't really like it that much, don't force yourself to finish it. Just put it down and choose something else. If you're forcing yourself to finish books all the time, you're not going to enjoy yourself, and if you're reading, you want to have fun. It's a good time. So don't make yourself read books that make you unhappy to be reading them, because you're just going to form negative associations with reading, and if you're trying to get back into reading, that's going to be a major roadblock for you, because you're just going to start thinking, okay, every time I sit down to read, I'm not having fun, but it might just be the book you're reading. So put down the book if it's not vibing with you and try something else. And if that doesn't vibe with you, put that one down and try something else. There are so many books in this world. Just don't read ones that don't make you happy. My third tip is don't make a TBR. You can for sure make a list of books that you want to read later and write that down somewhere. But I don't necessarily recommend that you make a strict list of what books you're going to read each month. Instead, I think you should let yourself mood read. This will help you to explore more genres and lets you read what you want when you want, which is definitely going to help you make better memories with reading, because you're just reading what strikes your mood at that moment and not forcing yourself to read a book that you said you were going to read this month. And I think it's really important when you're just getting back into reading to make a lot of really good memories, because that'll encourage you to want to do more reading. My next tip is don't make reading a chore. And by this I mean you don't need to read when you don't feel like reading. Reading is a hobby, so you should be doing it when you feel like doing it, not because you feel like you have to do it. You don't need to read every day. I don't read every day. I'm sure a lot of people on the book scene don't read every day. It's just not necessary. Read when the mood strikes. And another thing I would say along this line is don't feel the need to set numbered goals. Unless they're gonna really motivate or inspire you to read, they can just become something that you feel like you have to meet. If you set a number of daily pages that you want to read or a number of books that you want to read in the year, then you're gonna feel bad if you don't meet those criteria, when you should just be enjoying getting back into reading when you feel like it, reading to make yourself happy. So I definitely think that it's a good idea to not set numbered goals right away and just let yourself enjoy the process of getting back into reading. My fifth and final tip is to make reading fun. It's a hobby, so you should be enjoying yourself when you're doing it. You don't have to read the books that everyone says you have to read. You don't have to follow those lists that are top 10 books you have to read before you die. You don't have to read them. Read books that are fun for you. If you love a rom-com, don't read a classic. The one is not inherently better than the other. Whichever you enjoy is going to be better for you. You can also try reading with a book club or with a friend. It can make it a lot more of a social experience, because reading can be pretty isolating if you're just sitting at home reading all the time. But if you're sharing that experience with a friend or a book club, it can make it more social, and it can also make it more motivating for you to read, because you have someone who you're planning to talk about the book with and who presumably you like talking to. All right, those are all the tips that I have for you. Hopefully some of them can be useful for you as you try to get back into reading. and I wish you all the success in your reading endeavors. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.